Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my kitchen. Yes, yes, yes. In today's video, I'm just going to be showing you how I preserve my tomatoes. Yes, this way it's very easy for me to make my food. Yes, when I have time in the house, I just prepare my tomatoes and put them in the freezer. When I need to use them, I bring them out to use. So I just feel like sharing with you, my amazing people, the 3 ways in which I preserve my tomatoes. Yes, let's get right into it. So I'm just cutting these tomatoes right now. I'm going to put this set in my oven where I will leave it there to do its thing. I'm actually going to roast it in my oven. Yes, this is one of the ways I get my tomatoes ready for food. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do please consider subscribing, because in this channel we bring you good and lovely recipes all the time, and we share a lot of cooking tips on this channel. Yes, you don't want to miss out on any of our recipe or our cooking tips, so do remember to turn on your bell notification when you do subscribe to this channel. So I'm going to be adding red bell pepper to these tomatoes, and I also add onions to it before I put it in my oven, because I'm going to be roasting. I just neatly remove the seed. So I'm going to send this to my oven right now. I have tomatoes, onions, red bell pepper, and garlic in this tray. But before I send it to the oven, I'm going to add some salt. This is to make this tomato paste very tasty when I'm cooking with it. So I'm going to just sprinkle some vegetable oil in it. So I'm going to leave it in my oven on 360 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let me go right with it. Okay, I'm blending right now. This is another way that I preserve my tomatoes, or I make my tomatoes easier for me to use. I just added little water. That will be the only water that I'm going to add. Just watch me. So I just added little water. When I blend, I will put some into my pot, and I leave some tomatoes in the blender. That way I don't need to add more water to these tomatoes. But of course, to make the tomatoes to be friendly to your blender, you have to add little water the first time you start blending. Okay, I'm going to put this into this pot. I'm just gonna save this and allow the one I have in the pot to cook down a little bit before I will add more tomatoes. So this water is actually dry from these tomatoes. I'm going to turn off the lights and allow it to get cold. Then I'll go ahead and put it in my container. You can see these tomatoes is cold now. I'm going to just put it in my bowl. So add some vegetable oil to this tomato mix. And I'll cover it. Okay, this pepper mix that I put in the oven is ready. I'm just transferring it now to the bowl. It took me about 3 hours to roast this pepper mix in the oven. Yeah, you can decide to roast it more, but I don't want it to roast more than this. Yes. So this is one of the ways I also make my pepper mix and put in the freezer for cooking. Okay, I'm putting this roasted pepper mix in my blender so that I can blend it. I just blended it down. I'm going to be adding the remaining pepper mix into the blender so that I can blend nice and good. Alright, I'm done blending. I'm done blending. As you can see, I'm transferring it into my bowl. After I finish transferring it, I'm going to add some vegetable oil to this. This pepper mix is really much, but because I roasted it, it's looking very small. But when I'm making food with it, I can use this for like 3 to 4 times, except if I'm making stew, yes, then I can use it at once or 2 times, depends. I'm going to add my vegetable oil to this. And I'll cover it. So this one is the one I roasted. Yes, this is the tomato paste I roasted. You can see how fresh and good it's looking. So I'll put it in my freezer. You know, I added oil to this. So this one method I use in saving my tomato mix. That makes my cooking easier for me at home. This is because sometimes I like to feel the roasted peppers, so I roast it this way and keep it. So this one, you saw me blend it. I did not roast it. You can see how reddish it's looking. So this, I just blended it with my onions, red bell pepper, and tomatoes, and I cooked it down. Gave me this paste. I added my vegetable oil to save it or to preserve it. So this one, I have my tomatoes, red bell pepper, onions, and garlic in it. I roasted this in my oven for about 3 hours on 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so this tomatoes was very fresh, very fresh. I washed it very well and I cut it and I put it in my pan and left it under the sun. Yes, I left this under the sun. Depending on how hot the weather is where you are, that will also determine how long it's going to be under the sun. But mind you, you are supposed to cover it with a sieve cloth to prevent dust, flies from perching on these tomatoes. So you can see I just got them out from my Ziploc. I'll just take it back to the freezer and leave it there. Anytime I want to use it, I will bring it out. It's very clean. You don't need to wash it, you don't need to rinse it. I'll just put it in my blender and blend it. This tomatoes, I put it under the sun. After washing it, cutting it, I put it in my pan. I use my sieve cloth to cover it to prevent fly from perching on it and also to prevent dust from getting on it. So depending on where you are and how hot the weather is or how sunny the weather is will determine how long you're going to be drying this under the sun. So you saw me, I brought it out from the Ziploc. So I'm going to put it back in the Ziploc and put it in my freezer. Anytime I want to use it, I will go ahead and blend it. I'll just put it in my blender, add little water, add my fresh onions, my red bell pepper, my garlic, and my tomato paste will be ready. Yes, if you don't want to put it in your fridge or your freezer, feel free to leave it open. You can leave it in a more like a tray and keep it in a very safe place. It will dry them more. Yes, this is another good way of preserving your tomatoes. In case you have excess tomatoes and you can't finish it and you're in a place where you don't really have light all the time, this is another good method of saving or preserving your tomatoes. And that's it. My pepper mix will be ready. Thank you so very much, friends. And because I have my cubes, my seasoning cubes, and my pepper cubes. If you notice, I did not put habanero pepper or Scotch bonnet pepper to my pepper mix because I have this already in the freezer. I will leave the link of this in the description box of this video. Feel free to check out the video. I'm sure it will be very helpful to you. Yes, thank you so very much, friends. I hope this video has been really helpful to you. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do consider subscribing to this channel, because in this channel we bring you lovely recipes all the time, and we bring you good and lovely cooking tips, and we talk about food related topics and other related topics that will interest you. Thank you so very much for staying to the end of this video. I will see you all in my next one. Until then, bye.